Number 3. Not only do we have to accept the love, not only do we have to believe the love, number 3 is we have to express the love. Listen to it. 1 John 4:17 and 18 says this, God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him. By this is love perfected with us, so that we may have confidence for the day of judgment. For as He is, so also are we in the world. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment. And whoever fears has not been perfected in love. Now, that word there in the Greek for perfected means completed or fulfilled. So here's what I want you to write down there in your sermon listening guide. Love that is one-sided is not complete. Love that is one-sided is not complete. Here's what I mean. Imagine, if you will, that a Hallmark movie were to come out. And you're watching this Hallmark movie, and you watch that one of the people, be it the guy or the girl, does all the incredible sacrifice as happens in the movie. Either he or she sells her business, and they go ahead and they move so they can be close and show up in the city, and they're waiting there on the doorstep, and here it is. It's that moment. You know, you've seen those Hallmark movies. Whenever they open up the door, and all of a sudden the tears start coming down like, I knew it, and then all of a sudden they're there, and they're in love, and everybody's crying, and everybody's moved, and it's amazing, and then a puppy goes by, and you're like, oh, and there's a puppy, and this is awesome. What if instead of that, the person opens up the door, sees that person that is sacrificed and is loved, and says, listen, I sold my business, and here I am, and here's a puppy, and here's some chocolate, and the person goes, poof, and slams the door, and then goes back inside. You'd be like, oh, it's the worst possible movie. What if the title of the movie was Perfect Love? You'd be like, no, that's not how this is supposed to go. I know this because there's other movies where that happens. And I always am sitting with somebody going, well, that was an awful movie. And you're like, why? Because the guy didn't get the girl, or it didn't work out. They weren't supposed to be with the right person. This is the worst movie on the planet. This is exactly what John is saying. John is saying, listen, God loves us and He sacrifices for us, and it's amazing and it's wonderful, but it's not really truly complete until that love is reciprocated. Then it is doing what it's intended to do. That's how it becomes complete. And so he says, God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him. And here's what happens when that love is complete. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. You see, when that love is flowing between two beings, us and God, and it's there continually back and forth, there's not fear. And the reason why there's not fear is because the relationship has changed. It's an intimate, close relationship. No longer are we looking at Him as judge, but now we're looking at Him as Abba, Father. It's Dad. And John says, listen, when you have that kind of relationship, fear just disappears. Because you're not worried about the judge coming and bringing the hammer down on you. There's not condemnation for the believer. There is discipline. Never does John ever shy away from discipline. Never does Paul shy away from discipline. But condemnation, it's not there. This kind of eternal judgment is not there. And so perfect love, when we know and we trust and believe that we are loved, fear goes out the window.